All right, in this edition of the Fit Rockstar Show, guys, we have somebody very special, very, very motivating person in the sport. She's the first ever Rising Phoenix champion, two-time, 2015, 2016. She's a top Olympian. She is just simply marvelous. Margie Marvelous Martin.
Oh, y'all are clapping for me. Oh, look,
Absolutely.
yay.
Little
Thank
clap.
you, Isabel.
Big clap.
Legendary yourself.
Never? Did you
Oh,
ever do
no.
one legendary?
Yes, absolutely, positively legendary.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You're a big inspiration to many people around the world, women especially. What you have done is truly marvelous and incredible. And I want to go back and talk about little Margie, when she's a little girl, and then go into your bodybuilding and all that good stuff, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay. What was you like a little girl?
I would say just probably like everyone else, just wanting, to play and have fun. I was very solo. I always played in the mud. And then, as kids got older, I was always the only girl, in the neighborhood. So I played sports a lot, My brother wasn't very athletic, but I was the athletic one. But, during those times, he was the one that was pushed during the sports, and I was the one, watching.
Was it just you two, or do you have other siblings?
I have two older siblings, too, but they were, like, way older than me, So, me and him were closer. We're almost like Irish twins.
Irish twins. How did you get into the military? What made you want to join the military?
Oh,
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Isabel. I appreciate that. Hoorah. My father was a Marine, and my aunt was a Marine as well. My aunt's husband on the other side was a Marine. So that type of feeling was always already instilled. And so that's just something I always wanted to do. It's hardcore. I always wanted to be the hardest and, part of the best, and doing something hard, came easy.
No, bodybuilding especially, right?
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No.
You started 2013 in bodybuilding?
I did. Now, this is something I had to say because a lot of us, I think energy is always perpetual. And I remember you always, in bodybuilding, because it's very important to always remember that feeling that you had when you first did it. And if it still brings joy, then keep doing it. But when you're talking about inspiration as well, I remember seeing you on stage. It was probably one of the most magnificent things I've ever seen. And
Me?
it's like, yes.
Don't make me start talking now.
It is. Before people even got to see you, touch you, and, they're already having this idea, and it's just like a memory. I didn't know you could have been an NPC competitor doing your first show, but what I saw was magnificent. It didn't matter what the status was or whatever. The presentation, and I thought of all these types of characters.
Don't make me
So
start
it's just,
crying.
it's one of those things. It's like only how I am able to be even close to whatever label you give me is because I sit on the backs of you girls who were there before me and who gave me that power, who told me it was okay. Pop that lat spread.
Sure.
That's all I ever wanted, was to feel the same way you made me feel when I saw you on stage.
Well, I can tell you right now, you make a lot of us women and guys in the sport feel incredible because of you're so positive. You're so helpful. I remember, I don't know if it was a Rising Phoenix. I think it was when you won, that you were actually going around helping people. I think you gave somebody a ride, one of the competitors, or something like that. And, most people, they focus on their prep. They're in their little cave, as you know. You were like doing this, doing that, helping everybody. That says a lot about you as a person. And even more so, I know you had some weight. You were heavier before.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How much weight were you?
Well, I think it was just, when you become a mom and everything else takes over, it's just like you just get lazy. Right. And then you struggle with all that stuff. All those struggles, doing those dumb diets, doing those crazy diets, and trying to cheat and work out 5 days a week to only binge, the other 2, and then, you're always sliding back and forth. And man, that was exhausting. So I think my ass tells me I got up to like around 230, but 220 was when I was really trying to I could feel the stretch. You could feel like when things start kind of jiggling a little too much.
Yeah. I was there.
Oh, those are the days. But yeah.
But what you did, I mean, you're 230, and then you just worked your ass off.
Yeah.
When did you
Literally.
put the hammer down and say, you know what, I'm done with this. I want to change myself?
I think I was in college, and I was going to go and get like some Del Taco or Taco Bell on my way, and I was trying to get ready for like a first NPC show, and I said I was just so tired of it not happening. I said, well, what if I'm curious? What if I'm curious about what if I just do it and just stick to the plan and not try to cheat my way through it? What if I can do it and see what it looks like?
Right.
And after that, it's just...
You did.
Yeah.
2013, you competed. 2014, you won the USAs, right?
2013, I won the USAs. And 2014 was my pro debut.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually qualified for the Olympia, and that was the last time that they did the Olympia.
Oh, wow.
And I remember stepping on stage, and I think someone kind of squeezed it out, and I was like, huh? And he was like, oh, never mind. And I was like, oh.
Well, with that's so impressive. 2013, 14 pro debut, and then, of course, 2015 was a great year. Rising Phoenix. Can you run us through your experience the first time at the Rising Phoenix? What was that like?
Yeah, because the Rising Phoenix was in San Antonio.
Oh, God, it was hot.
Yeah, it was in San Antonio, so it was pretty great. It was great. It was only thing I wanted to do, just like with any other show, I just want to be called. That's the only thing you want to do is just like aim to be called. Aim to be called, because all the other shows, I wasn't getting those first call-outs, and I had just won my first show in Tampa. And so I just needed to be called in the things. I was insane. It was like how crazy you can be just for the love of bodybuilding, right? I was sleeping on my girlfriend's floor.
Wow.
Yeah, in Las Vegas, me and my kids, because I was getting a divorce. So that Rising Phoenix money was, at the time, was like, that's what I was just pushing for, just to be able to have something to be able to live.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, you have to be nuts. But that's just how that thought process is like when you're so zero focused on something that you want, you have to let that energy flow, and people will be in your corner.
Absolutely.
For it. So that's,
Well, I'm sorry about the thing with your kids.
Oh, don't be sorry. Oh, no. Well, I mean, we had sleeping
happened.
bags and everything else. We camp out.
Wow.
Kids don't see it like that. They saw it was like, we're camping, and it was like, there's no other way out of this situation but through, and how we're going to get through it. So.
Well, you're a great mother. And I saw that one of your kids just went to college.
Yes, my last one, Hakeem, my little beautiful baby boy, he just went. He's in UNLV. Oh, I miss him. I miss him a lot. But yeah, they're all done, girl. I'm done.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now you can just enjoy life and.
Yeah, it's a new life. Everything else is like a nice fresh start on seeing what you want in different ways. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Do you know the hardest part of women or bodybuilding in general? Some people stay so focused in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, drink, bodybuilding. But they forget to live a life outside of that. And I have to confess, I live a lot of my life through seeing like what you do. I enjoy, I travel everywhere, but when I look at your stuff, I'm like, oh my God, this is
I need
amazing.
to go someplace some more. I need to go more places.
You just, you have a great time. You make the best of everything you do.
Yeah.
You really do. And so how do you, what advice would you give to somebody who is so, they're very structured, but they just in that zone. I feel like you need to have some downtime, right? To decompress a little bit for yourself.
Yeah, that's definitely something you have to practice bit by bit, giving yourself patience, giving yourself some grace. When we're standing on stage or we're standing next to each other, I think about, do you know how many people in the world there are? There's almost 8 billion in the world, and there's only like 20 of us that look like this.
True, yeah.
Out of 8 billion.
It's a very good way of looking at it.
It gives me chills every
Yeah.
time I think about it. So that's the reason why, I always want to make sure, because it only is 20 of us, but it only takes one of us to look kind of crazy for them to focus on that.
Right.
And then now women's bodybuilding looks crazy off of that one mess, that one mistake, that
Yes.
one little blemish. And that's why it's always to be a help to everyone,
You are very helpful to everyone.
Yeah. But, everyone just is looking more gorgeous, and they're taking, they got the long hair, they're glam, and they're looking fabulous. I can't be any prouder. It's just, I feel so blessed to be able to see you guys on stage. Like, being young and not being able to, as a fan, to see it, but being able to be a pro and still be a fan of what you see on stage.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
I feel very, very, very grateful.
Now, you also train clients and help them with posing.
Yeah,
and stuff,
coaching
right?
and everything else. Yeah.
With the contest prep and everything as well?
Contest prep, yes. I do a lot more with transformations aesthetically now, where it's just people are not going to the gym aimlessly trying to fix their bodies, just throwing weights up. For me, I'm all about shape and size. So we're going to do things to shape your body into the way you want, not just do things aimlessly, which is hard. It's very hard for people to get out of that.
You got to tell me about the battle ropes. You love
I
your
love battle
ropes.
rope.
I
do.
tried it the other day. I'm like, I can't even.
You got gorgeous arms as well. You don't need the battle ropes, but let me tell you something. Getting that back open and that chest open,
Helps with the battle.
rear
Because
delts.
you're doing all these fancy.
Yeah, because you're in a rhythm, you're doing your bicep, you're doing your triceps, and you're getting that good HIIT training where you're burning and you're getting that, that oxygen, getting that blood flow. You need all that blood before you hit it. So, yeah, I love battle ropes. I think it's probably one of the best fat burning machine things I do for me. Yeah.
What is your routine? I know I got a comment on the beautiful video you did about is it for Allure magazine, right?
Yeah, for Allure.
Tell me how that happened, because that was the best video put together, and by far of all women bodybuilders, you're just such a great spokeswoman and representative of the sport. Such a perfect video.
Oh, thank you so much, Isabel. I really, really appreciate that.
Well, if I was first starting women's bodybuilding, I saw your video, I'm taking notes, because I'm like, oh, she's so right, the skin, this, that, because these things weren't taught to me when I started.
Right.
Nobody went over that stuff.
No, they don't tell you anything.
No, and you see girls on stage, they're not really, the presentation, the skin, it's a big deal, I think.
It is. And, I don't know where you live, but I live in Vegas, so I have a lot of things at my, hands reach. I can go to get, laser treatment done. I can get this done. I can get that done. And, everyone else doesn't, some live in North Carolina, Alabama, they don't have those places just, a luxury type of style. So it's unfortunate, but yes, I'm all for anyone who has a question about hair, a new hair unit, makeup, how to highlight. I'm all for it. I'm all about all my sisters looking great. I didn't let the bodies do the work, but don't let them have anything to say about.
Yeah, right.
And then let
Yes,
right.
yes,
and then,
yes, yeah,
Right.
absolutely. How did that video happen with Allure? That was
Well, of course you have to do an interview and go in and ask you, and one to ask you about your day to day and see how you feel about that, and showing that type of interest in your life. And it was kind of hard at first because I do, have kids and stuff, and they didn't really want to participate. So you have to kind of get all that going. You don't have a cameraman and a big professional, screen and stuff like that. So it was just like
some parts of the selfie thing. I'm like, damn, I got to give her credit.
it was hard because during prep too, you don't want to do any of that shit.
No, I don't want to do a damn thing. The less, the better.
Right. So it's just like, I just took it by a grain of salt. And I really wanted to make sure that it spoke truth to what I have gone through and how I feel, and what I wanted to make sure that people knew, like, hey, this is not something that's easy, What you look like during prep and going through a contest is not the same way on the off season, We look kind of crazy sometimes, and this is something we have to fight those and combat that, But it's in our hearts, it's in our feelings to identify with this body type. You identify with this body that you work so hard to accomplish, So it's, yeah.
I just learned self-love again with my body. I let myself go, and I was focused on the show, going to shows, doing my commentary, interviewing. And then one day, again, looking at people like yourself, my God, she looks so beautiful, just everything's so perfect. I decided, what, I'm going to stop this and give myself love again. Because again, that self-love, it goes a long way, and I didn't know, so it's people, women like yourself, who inspired me to bring back myself to life, because
Wow, that's so awesome.
I was at a very low point. It's not easy, as you know. The sport can have its nasty sides to it.
Yeah, and you're, being at the position, you're always giving. You're in a position of giving. How are you doing? You're hosting. What's going on with you? How's your life?
Right.
Are you doing? How are you competing and stuff? Asking, like, what about me?
Bingo. Yeah, yeah.
And you have to start asking it, it's like, what about me? And turning that mirror back into yourself is kind of frightening. It's kind of like scorching like a sun. But the more you do it,
Damn right.
the better, the thicker your skin becomes to being able to say, like I was telling you about the flexing of the glute. It's like, I'm not going to obsess with how the skin looks at that position. You have to be kidding me.
Right.
I'm 43 years old. My ass walking around looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's just how it has to be. But you have to constantly reaffirm those type of positive, talks to yourself.
Do you do your own prep or in training?
Oh, yeah.
So, I respect that. Because sometimes, again, we feel like we have to have all these people in our camp
Yeah, you do,
for
though.
this and that, and, just to keep us in track. But when you have a mindset like yours, it's like you can do your own thing. You know your body so well, it's easy for you, right? You just go with the flow with everything.
Yeah, you have to go with your flow, and no one knows how you're going to feel when you feel it, and no one... I'm my hardest coach that I've ever seen, so it's just one of those things is people... Sometimes I feel with clients just want to have a conversation about their diet. They want to have an understanding, but chicken is chicken, beef is beef, fish is fish. Do your cardio, do your training. I don't need someone to tell me to do that.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
A lot of times you just need an ear. You need someone to talk to say, can I do this? Am I doing this right? And then I respond, yeah, bitch, you're right. No, but having that second ear is definitely hard. And having a coach, I can understand that. But my biggest fear in those situations, especially with all of those deaths that happened, we've lost a lot of friends. I want to make sure that I'm aware,
Right.
what someone could tell me, because I'm hardcore.
Sure.
I can suck it up. And a coach says, hey, can you do 2 more hours of cardio or something like that? I'm like, yeah, I can do it. But I have to be sensitive to the nature of what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So I have to start a little bit earlier, do it a little bit longer. But I get there eventually.
What are your thoughts on the health? Now, it seems like we're okay now. Like last year was not a really good year, obviously. But what are your thoughts on it? What can we do to educate the athletes more on health?
Get tested. Get tested. Don't be scared to get tested. If you can't, no, get tested. I just think it's like, I know it's expensive to do the test and over again every 6 months or stuff like that, but that's just how it is when you've been doing it for so long. And then when you get the test and everything is fine and, check this level, make sure you can move forward, but make sure that you're having someone who can read those levels as well, not just, someone who's just doing it for you, saying, oh, this doesn't look good. You really have someone professionally look at it and take care of yourself, because we've known people who've done it for a short period of time and passed, and we've known people who've been doing it for decades.
Yes.
So it's the luck of the draw when it comes to certain situations,
Sure.
too.
I know we all don't have the easiest prep, but has there ever been a prep or a point when you're prepping where it was really hard and you're just like, I don't know. I just can't, you know what I mean? Like, you just feel that low. I'm sure you've never had that. But for someone who does have that, because we all go through it sometimes, how do you get out of that?
Take a nap.
Okay.
When you're feeling hopeless, when you're feeling down, take a breath. Take a breath. It happens. Of course you're supposed to feel like this. This is one of the hardest things that anyone could ask you to do, is basically starve yourself in style and gain muscle. So take a breath and take a nap. Wake up, put your lip gloss on, and carry on with the rest of the day.
That. Put the lip gloss on, baby.
Pop it and keep moving, because that's just one is take a breath. I tell you, people, be kind to yourself. I've gotten the best gains. I've experienced the most joy by giving myself grace and loving each step of the suffering, because no one else can do it the way you can do it. No one else is going to make people feel the way you make people feel. And that in itself is what drives.
And it
You don't
goes
need to
back
move
to
it,
that
just drive.
energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, that energy. Yeah.
Do you believe in manifestation?
Oh, I do. I think it kind of manifesting positive energy. I don't know if it could be a controlled force, but what I want people to say, like, always just remember how you make people feel. And sometimes it's okay to know, like, how do I make you feel? I'm on stage, did I make you feel good? Did I make you feel,
You make people feel good.
Yeah.
Every single person that I've ever seen you talk to, all of them, either making them either laugh or they're having this big smile where they're just so in awe that you even recognize them as a person.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, some people don't get that attention, but when someone like, you care, some people don't give a shit. They just let you go. And you change that, because I've seen it many times of athletes, again, who don't have all the resources, and you're just here, let me help you. When you're, again, in your prep, your glory right now, you're helping somebody else. And as I said earlier, it says a lot about you as a person. And I respect that a lot.
you do the same thing. No, it's so true, because the thing is that, when we were both, you were a little bit before me, but we were coming up, it was just like a lot of people were the way they dieted, the way they were supposed to feel all, it's just me and everyone else is against me. When we're the same, because we both like the same things. We like doing the same things.
Sure.
And for me, as a fan, I was just like a kid in a candy store being around all these people, being able to see that V-taper in person. It's what we supposed to be highlighting, the glory of us. So, yeah.
I love you because of the fact you have such a fun Instagram. Everything you do is fun, and it's badass. You are totally you. And there was something you posted that made me laugh. It's the dick meme, the different things it means, and then the last
The side.
K with penis. I'm like, that's just great.
I do. I just think that, you got to have a little fun. People are too serious. They're too serious. They have to give people a break. And a lot of times, I think, especially during COVID, a lot of, introspection, where people are just really diving in, trying to figure out how they feel with things going on, and new relationships, old relationships, and what really is it about. And that's just what I was like, what do I really want? How do I want, things to, what do I want to express? I want people to laugh. I want people to look, and I want people to be like, oh, that's a big ass bodybuilder that looks good. And she don't care.
Girl, you have me at the the pussy thing with the leg kick in the air. I'm like, I love her. She just have fun.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I wish more people had that personality and attitude.
If we could get people to feel free and know that what happened.
It's so hard.
Have you ever sinned?
Of course I've sinned.
Right.
Every day I sinned.
So you come down, but remember the first time you knew purposely that you did a sinful act.
I did, and I did it
And
again.
then yeah, right. So, but you thought, I thought I was going to go to church. I thought I was going to get, something was going to
Struck me
strike me down, then nothing happened.
No.
You know, you keep moving on.
That's right.
And so when I started doing what I wanted to do, I started looking at my account and I started seeing, like, was there anything going to be taken out of it because someone didn't like me for it? Oh, okay, no. Nothing was changing. So for me, I had to start doing things that were making me happy instead of what I was worried about what other people thought.
That's what I like about you. You don't care what other people think. You just do what makes you happy.
I don't even know.
Learning this right now. I'm learning that about myself. Do what makes me happy and stop worrying about what anybody else thinks. Because I've had that mindset, especially for what I do.
Oh.
I'm kind of like, okay, I shouldn't do this. But I'm like, now, fuck it.
I think
me.
I really honestly think that you're more in a position of people more focused on what you think about them than the other way around. No, I really think so. I think it's something where your opinion in the sport, being in it for over 10 years now, at least I know I can say over 10, so I know you've been in it longer than me.
Years, 20.
20 years. That's what I'm saying. Your opinion in the sport matters, and you have it. You know, I listen to you commentate over the shows and everything else, and you are so polite and kind of like bringing out questions like, oh, this and that. But truly, I don't think they know more about it than you. I'm actually quite sure they don't. But you're so kind and you're just so humble about it. You're like, so what do they do for this? What do they do for that? And you're like, you know what they do for this.
I need you on speed dial. I can talk to you in a minute. I'm serious.
Is what I do.
What legacy do you want to leave with bodybuilding, Margie, or the sport in general? What is your legacy?
I think tight waist. No, I'm saying, but
Everything you do now is just incredible. But I'm curious, like, what more do you want to do? You're doing so much.
I don't think that there's anything else I feel to share except for my love of proper execution. That's just, I want to be able to share that. I've seen so many changes. We've seen so many changes that have gone through, and the changes that I've seen, I'm like, when I saw like the last show, I was like, long hair, don't care, tight waist. I was like, how I felt like that to me is enough for me to say, okay, yeah. Because everyone's making sure that they are glammed up to the T, and that's very important to me.
Well, at the beginning of the season, I don't know if you were following, but some of the girls, it needed some work. But now, like you said, we've had stellar girls.
Yeah.
Beautiful, great competition.
Yes.
Gorgeous. And like you said, they're taking care of the
Yes.
which is big.
But also, don't you think that it's just sometimes you have to see it in person, right?
You mean
you
like
don't get to see like conditioning. Like some people think what conditioning looks like until you see it in person. You're like,
Right.
oh,
Right.
that's what that looks like. All right, that's what cap shoulders look like. That's what a V taper looks like, So you're like, until you really get to see it in person, I'm pretty sure that those, they're young, still in it and everything else, and they're going to learn.
That's pretty much what Phil Keefe said a while back. He's like, it doesn't matter what they look like in IG and all this stuff. It's stage day, what they look like, the structure, the conditioning. You're
Yeah.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think this is going to probably be, this is my last Olympia for sure, but I
Are
definitely.
you sure about that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely want to be able to relax.
I say this because looking at you, again, you have beautiful skin, beautiful body, physique, you know it. You can go on for a while if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. I could, yeah.
So let's just say this. Let's throw this in the fire. Bob calls you as the new Miss Olympia. Are you going to continue on after that? Or are you going to say, you know what? Okay, got my Olympia. I'm done.
No, I don't think that's not in the cards, because I really, really do love the sport of women's bodybuilding. I just feel like it's not where I'm meant to be at the end of the day, and having a great physique, and whoever they call is going to have a great physique.
Sure.
Everyone in the,
Sure.
I just,
Yeah.
looking like this is the goal, always been the goal for me. And it's not necessarily about competing to have it. It's about discipline during those off times when you don't compete. That's when you want to have this body. That's when I want to have the physique. So I've already accomplished that. But I also want to show that there's other ways to display the women's physique, display this body of muscle without having to compete doing
I love
it.
that idea.
Yeah. I really want us to be able to showcase our bodies more than once, or twice a year. We have to be able to have that.
I agree with that 100%. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, all right, I don't want to be just this ripped person or whatever, conditioned person on stage. I want to be not like, looking great with muscles all year round.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, just really nice. You look amazing, too, by the way. It's just, these veins just like, it kills it.
Thank you.
Right, yes. But, no, I do. I want to be able to have that time where it's something like seasonal, where we can have shows, we can have meet and greets. There's things that we can display and have people come and do charity events and everything else. Really be able to show how we can give back and we can give to the community. So, really, yeah.
Here's an idea for you, Miss Marvelous.
Yeah.
Since you're the fashionista, which I have to ask, are all your outfits custom?
No.
Some of these outfits are just
Some of them are custom, but
like
no.
Oscar worthy. And then some. And it's like, when you walk in, all eyes, Margie Martin. Oh my God. I was thinking, what about a fashion show? A charity fashion show with women bodybuilders. You host your show, and these girls just strutting, walking their stuff in a little skimpy whatever.
I love that idea.
Sexy.
That sounds so sexy.
Yes.
You know
how well that would do.
that would do really well.
In Vegas? of all
Oh,
places?
we might have to hear that. Do you hear that, Maggie? If Maggie watching, yeah. So that sounds really great.
I'd like to see your friend Machado.
Amanda.
I'd love to see Chelsea. A lot of these girls, different bodies.
Oh yeah,
different
definitely
looks and
different
everything.
looks.
Oh, that'd
Getting
be-
some wellness looks. Yeah, that would be. Are you thinking about designing any clothes?
Mine would be like a little floss string.
You can rock that
slingshot.
floss too. Ugh,
I
your
like
glutes.
floss. I don't have any glutes, girl. You got glutes.
Yeah, but you don't have
You
all
make
that
that booty
skin.
clap.
Yeah, because all that.
You drove the Olympia people crazy last year.
Oh, you're
Holy
so funny.
smokes.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Guys are having heart attacks in their chairs.
Well, I hope that since it's back in Vegas, that this will be something that we can all really, really have a good time. Because I love Florida, but Vegas, the after parties and things like that.
Well, we'll see what happens. Who knows? It may change again. Who knows?
Hey, it has nothing to do with me. It's in Vegas this time.
right.
I'm doing it this time. So
Speaking
that's
of,
it.
we need to have a really good after party in Vegas for this. This is going to be
Yeah, I'm kind of working on something right now. Stay tuned.
Chippendale guys, and everything else. Maybe some other things.
Maybe a little something else.
We
Something
need
a little
some
bit better.
wild stuff.
See, you want to be entertained.
Lots of buds everywhere. Okay.
But yeah, I think it's going to be wild. I think it's going to be fun.
Well, I wanted to put that fashion show idea in your head because
That's a
would
great
be
one.
something-
That
I can
is.
see you doing something with all these sexy different looks, different bodies. And
That would be
make some
really,
good
really.
coin on that.
The purpose of it is to make sure I always like to say spread the wealth, and I know like in certain areas of the world that we don't like to hear that, but definitely to a point where the competitors are knowing that they are going to get seen and they're going to get time with their fans. They're going to get a little paycheck at the end of the day, and that's really, really kind of important. you know?
Speaking of paycheck, again, another reason why I have respect for you. I loved what you said about the Tampa Pro Chelsea when she won and when you won. I didn't even realize that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, because listen, what we do is not easy. And the way the world is going now, for us, we need every little bit we can get. So I applaud you for that because you're 100% right. Seeing that big change, it's like, whoa. And I talked to Chelsea about it, and, she's...
Yeah, she's very sweet. She's gonna up and come her, so she doesn't really want to ride the wave. But
Of course.
you have to understand that you are worth more than that, but we also have to understand that the promoters need more from us than just showing
Correct.
up, right? So there's something that has to work within this realm of talking to the promoters and saying, look, this is not. I had 8 friends die in 2 years. 5 of them died in 1 year. And what we get out of this is a lower paycheck. to qualify for something that I can risk my life on doing.
What would be your advice? What can we do to help?
I think that there needs to be a set standard on how people, if you're a promoter, then you need to promote, not just have. Anyone can have a show, right? Don King promoted his fighters. You promote those athletes, promote them, not just in this, promote them. I know I can see what the Wings of Strength are doing with the ambassadors and everything else, but it takes a lot more than just getting people who aren't seeing yet,
Correct, sure.
you know,
What about the athletes? Do you think they can be also?
No, I think the athletes definitely need to be more commercial.
Sure.
I think they need to talk about the show that they're doing.
Exactly.
Way more. Not just talking about the Olympic. Olympia is the Super Bowl, yes, but you need to be able to win a show first. You need to talk about promote the show that you're doing. 6 months out, year out, who's going to come. You need to talk about the other athletes that you're worried about. Everyone's so scared and so chicken shit when it comes to who's competing. Like,
Right.
if you're worried about who's competing, don't compete.
So funny you mention that. When you said a long time ago about Atlanta, possible Atlanta, the whole internet was shitting bricks. Everybody. All the girls were like, oh my God, which is funny. But you're right about that. It shouldn't matter who's competing. Just do your thing. Do for you. It's you against you at the end of the day. Everybody has a different physique to offer.
And it's one of those things. It's just like, and I remember, and I can't even have that conversation about why I didn't do Atlanta. But honestly, it's because I wanted to have a show in Atlanta, and I was from there, but I had already moved back to Vegas, and I was like, why are you going back to Atlanta when you just came back from Orlando to do it, and now Olympia's in Vegas? Just stay in Vegas. Spend your coin on beautiful jewelry and a new purse or something like that, which I did. So.
Right. Yeah.
I'm happier about it. But when it comes to the athletes being able to be bold and know who they are, it really just requires a lot of insight on saying some of those top athletes like myself, Hele, Irene, Sheena, a lot of those athletes still need to do those smaller shows.
Sure.
But none of those athletes want to do a show where the prize money is cut to $2,000. I would love to do all 7 shows all year round, and whatever, but then have like a,
Yep.
2,000, and I can't do that. And I used to criticize a lot of the top 5 women Olympians about them not competing in the smaller shows, but not recognizing how hard it is because you have to maintain that conditioned look. That conditioned look you have to maintain, and going to a show where they're only going to pay you this little bit amount, risking getting down to 4% for $2,000.
Doesn't even pay for, it's not worth it.
No, you're gonna get me at the show sitting in the back seat, and it shouldn't be like that. But if it's going to be like that, things can be rearranged, things can be changed. We don't have to accept things the way they are. Every time they don't like muscle, they come out with a new division showing something else. What about changing how you see women's bodybuilding? If you don't like the way because those wellness girls' legs are just as big and they're just as conditioned.
Right.
We just don't squeeze. So, but they get to be in heels and we don't.
I would like to be in heels myself.
I would love being in heels for bodybuilding.
Me
I would
too.
kill it.
I would kill
I would kill bodybuilding in heels, bitch. I would
you
kill
would.
that motherfucker.
Yes.
I would stay if they did that. But or they keep telling me how something is dead, but then they keep on creating these other divisions that want to take little pieces of it and then do it for their division. Oh, we'll take the legs of bodybuilding, make it wellness,
Sure.
add some booty. But not the upper body. Oh, no, we'll just let women's physique have all the upper body.
Did you see Savannah with the women's physique girls?
I did.
There's a lot of good competition for that one.
It was really crazy.
Yeah. Some of those girls could even come over to women's bodybuilding if they wanted to.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Do you think some of the girls are afraid of that, or why would they not switch?
I think it's just you can just trial and error. And you don't know who's going to show up
Sure.
at that time. But one thing I will say is I'm all for transitioning for the women coming into women's physique. I'm a big champion for that.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
I don't agree with them just coming in with a shriveled up bacon looking body and then winning the show because they're just shriveled up bacon. No lats, no quad sweep, just a pair of glutes and some shriveled up bag double bi. I'm not for that at all. I'm tired of this. You can't go, a classic guy being stripped can't go into the open and think that he was going to win just because he was shredded to the T.
Right.
And why are you allowing that in women's bodybuilding? Lats count. Lats matter.
Yes.
Lats spread.
Right.
Quad
right,
sweep.
right,
Work
right.
with me here.
Yeah.
These T-shaped. I'm like, okay, but
No, you're right.
but I just think for me, I'm purist when it comes to bodybuilding. I'm a purist. So when it comes to that, I believe in conditioning, size, and shape matters.
The overall package.
The overall package, what makes people, how you make people feel about your look, how you make people feel about your look. And sometimes, then the pictures later, you're like, why did that guy win? He's like, you had to be there.
Right.
How he made you feel when he stepped on stage. Like, ooh,
I love that I'm feeling your passion for bodybuilding. I just love it. All this energy is coming.
I have
to
no
me.
boundaries when it comes to bodybuilding. That's the problem. So
What is the biggest pet peeves you have with bodybuilding? Like something you may see on stage that you just like maybe somebody not smiling or whatever.
I think the biggest pet peeve is not a sucked in stomach.
Right?
I think that's my biggest thing.
Do you think they're just like nervous and they just don't even think about that area?
Yeah, that kills me all the time.
Yeah, that kills me. Suck it in. Suck it in. Suck it in.
Suck it in. Yeah, a distended stomach kills me.
What are your top 5 pet peeves in general?
I think, I don't even understand, but I think what I can understand is aggravation would probably be when people need to take a breath. I think one of my pet peeves is not recognizing when you need to display some patience. So I think for me, it's just not showing grace and patience is a big pet peeve. When I'm not able to do it, and when I can't find that. So I don't have a lot of pet peeves. It's just like, not being able to show grace and patience would be it.
Okay, I like that. Some people have that long list of pet peeves. Oh, people don't re-rack the weights or,
Yeah, but you could grace, patience. Oh.
breathe. How did you learn this? Are you always like this? Or
Children.
Children. Oh,
Children.
Patience.
Children.
That's why I don't have any, because I
Do
don't
you have
any
a pet?
patience.
Any pets?
I used to.
I got plants now. I got some plants. I got a whole bunch of plants. And let
Do
me
they
tell
have
you
names?
something. Huh?
Do they have names?
Yeah, I got this peace lily named Queen that
I love
she
it.
kind of went flat. And then I'm like nursing her back together. That's a different type of patience. So
Yeah, that's a totally
Plants.
different type of patience. I loved your suit last year, the cheetah. The cheetah?
that was 2020. Yeah, I love that one.
2020.
Yeah.
That was hot.
Oh,
What can you kind of give us an idea of what you were brewing for this?
I want to be seen in green.
Okay, like jade?
I'm thinking about, I love green so much. I'm thinking, because I feel like The Wizard of Oz is just that song and emeralds and golds and things like that. So definitely some really, green.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm loving that.
Yeah.
What can we expect from you at the Olympia this year?
I think what I wanted to do at the Olympia this year was have some fun.
Booty
I really
clapping?
just really have like a good time. and enjoy it because I get to have all my stuff here. I don't have to worry about traveling and bringing in everything else. So everything that I wanted to do and I wanted to execute properly, you know, with my costumes and stuff like that, hopefully I get to do that. And that's it. I just want to be able to do it clean, do it right, and then Kobe it.
Wow, that's going to be...
Yeah.
I hope that you still continue on, but I get it, the 1 year left. You know,
Well, being around bodybuilding, definitely, but finding a way that these girls or these athletes, competitors can make money, I need to be able to do that. And I can't do it being a competitor. I have to be an advocate for them in a different way.
we definitely need that.
Yeah.
Because these girls, you know, listen, it's a very expensive sport.
is.
Extremely, as you know. A couple $1,000s easy in a small show. And what do you have to say for it, right? You spend all that time, like you talked about health, which is 100%. These girls throw in everything and the kitchen sink to get to that point, to get a win or get qualified for points. And at the end of the day, is it worth it? When you're putting your health at that risk.
So, no, it's not. I only had that one experience one time where I felt like, holy crap, there's something wrong. And then after that, I never did anything kind of close to that ever again. And I felt fine. You know, placements is or placement does, it is what it is. But as long as you feel good about the proper execution about your physique, like were you happy about your physique before you stepped on stage? Then roll with that and take that with you. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to look as good as you and no one can. Period. At all.
I just adore you. You have a clothing line, right?
I do. I'm still working on some things right now that's going to be coming out towards the Olympia. So just my merchandise, all of my stuff was stayed in Atlanta and I didn't bring it over. So I'm doing like a whole new,
Sexy leggings, I hope.
yeah, maybe. Well, I hope it's sexy enough for you to wear it. You love clothes. You have such great style.
I love sexy
great
clothes.
style.
So
Yes,
you
no,
have the-
great style.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I don't want to keep you much longer. I
No.
know you got prep to do and all this stuff. I think you're an incredible woman, such an empowering woman, and we all love you because you're true to you, and you teach us how to love our bodies more and to just be ourselves. That was another thing you posted about being yourself, being true to yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard to cross that, get out of your comfort zone and do that. But you know what? Once you do it, you feel so much free. You know, it's like, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It's about me.
It is about you. I would think that the power that you don't even, the power as well. You don't even know that those things that you exude, you may not be thinking it, but through your work and through your life, you've shown that,
Thank you.
right? You've shown it. It's theirs. It's like through your works. So it's just, you're the example,
Thank
you know?
No, you're a great example.
You're very,
for us.
very kind. I'm just letting you know it's been there.
Thank you.
Holy crap. I just get floored when I see it. Like, this is real. I was laughing when I was driving. I was like, you know, if I was telling myself this in 2012 that I was having this moment with you 10 years later, I would have lost my shit. But that's what you have to remember about that feeling of seeing those champions, seeing those people.
You're very sweet to me, Margie. I really appreciate it very much. I got to ask a question. What do you do for fun? What do you like to do for fun?
I do like to play poker. I like to self-pleasure a lot. I do.
I love
That's
that.
of course, working out, but
love
playing
it.
sports, but, really into that and, uplifting people. But yeah, everything is fun now. It's like everything is just so easy. This will be my first prep where I don't have to worry about anyone else but me.
That's great.
It's going to be crazy. I'm probably going to come in looking like a blubbery fat ass.
Oh, whatever. I highly doubt that.
You're like, "Ugh."
I highly doubt that. Is there, what is your guilty pleasure?
Ooh. Okay, I think the guilty pleasure would be a gin and tonic.
Okay.
Yeah, with a lime.
Okay. Maybe we can. Are you staying? Are you leaving tonight? Are you going? Or
Tomorrow, I'm going tomorrow, but yeah, I'm going to have
maybe
like
we can have a guilty pleasure tonight.
a
Gin
guilty
and-
a G&T.
G&T.
Yeah, a Paloma, a little grapefruit.
Well, listen, sweetie, I appreciate you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you for your kind words. I'm going to leave the floor with you. There's anything you want to say to anybody, your family, anyone out there, your sponsors, whoever, go for it.
Oh, thank you guys for having me here at Fit Rockstar Show. She's doing amazing things and really putting women's bodybuilding and bodybuilding as a whole into the forefront. And I really love the way you're doing this. I really, really appreciate you and the things that you share with us. And you're just so open and honest and so transparent. And it really helps everyone else heal when you're able to show that. It really gives a lot of strength and it gives a lot of people power.
You're going to make me cry, and I don't like crying.
Well, you had me like the first thing you were like, I was like, why is she saying all these things to me?
I don't see what you see or anybody else sees in me. And it really means the world to me, honestly. And I'm not bullshitting on this. I really don't see what you see. I don't see myself as this person up here. I'm down here. Because what matters to me is people like you and all the athletes and the fans, because we all share that same passion for bodybuilding. I love bodybuilding. If it wasn't for bodybuilding, I don't know what the hell I would fucking do. And I used to hate bodybuilding until I tried it. And then I loved it. Yeah. And when I see people like you, it's just like, wow. And you're so free, and you're so you, and you're giving me and I'm nobody. I'm not the 2-time Rising Phoenix champ, top Olympian, any of that stuff. And that means the world to me, that you even acknowledge someone like me. I love what I do. I love all you guys so much. I have nothing but respect.
That's so
and
sweet.
then some.
I love having that 2-time feeling, and it felt great, but it's never how it makes a person feel inside. It's nothing. After I won, I just sat at the end of my couch, and was like, okay, what's next? Because fans don't really care about that. They want to see you. They just want to see you. Go up there and do your best. It doesn't matter. Like I said, when I became a fan of bodybuilding, they could have been rolling out the NPC competitors doing their first show. I'm like,
right.
like, oh my God, look at these women are huge and they're wonderful. And then it's only when you become a competitor yourself, you start becoming critical of what you're doing and how you're doing it. And you forget the magic that was there and what you're supposed to bring.
Who was your role model as a female bodybuilder? Your first role model, this one you looked up to? I never did ask you that.
There was just, I think, I've always grabbed a lot from everyone that I saw. So anytime at a young age, it could have been a track star. It could have been, Kim Shavetsky. It could have been Linda Murray. It could have been anyone that I saw at a time. And I saw some masks. I saw some caps. I saw some shoulders. I saw a little bit of, a chest. It lured me in. So it was just natural. I always gained that power for someone who was bold enough to do that. Cheerleader with big calves. It just didn't matter. I just it was gaining that power. I still have so much gratefulness for being able to take those pieces from everyone and to be able to say, like you, and if you starting was the way now, do you know what you would be? Like having the IG back then and everything else. And do you know what could have been?
Right. I want to tell you a really quick story. And again, I kind of, so at the Savannah Pro Show, there was a girl, I forgot her name, women's physique. She said that you got her into competing. You came up to her out of the blue at one of the shows, and you said, oh my God, you're so pretty, you're this, that. And she ended up competing. And she gave a lot of credit to you for that.
Oh.
So I'm not surprised because it's you, and you know how to, you see it. You see things in people. So I wanted to share that little story.
Oh, that's so awesome.
This is about you and not about me, so.
It's about us, because let me tell you something, without the combination of it, it just doesn't work. We all have to work together for them to make sure that bodybuilding grows and becomes stronger. And it's just one of those things where we attach ourselves to that power of each other, and let it grow.
Agreed. All right, Miss Marvelous, you finish your thing. Do you have anything you
I
want?
love you guys. Thank you so much.
How do we find you on Instagram and all your social media?
It's social media, Marvelous V, on all streaming sites soon. I'm really, really, really thankful for this. So thank you guys.
We're thankful too. All right, guys, there you have it. Miss Marvelous, Margie Martin.
Wow.
See you at the Olympics.